We start by importing the use SWR hook from the SWR library. SWR stands for Stale While Revalidate, which is a strategy to first return the data from cache, then send the fetch request, and finally come with the up-to-date data. Next, we define a fetcher function. This function will be responsible for making the API call. Here, we're using JavaScript's native fetch function to make the request, and then we're parsing the response as JSON. Now, we define a functional component called userProfile. This component will accept user ID as a prop which we will use to fetch data for a specific user. Inside the component, we call the use SWR hook with two parameters. The first parameter is the unique key that the hook uses for caching, which is the URL of our API endpoint. We're using template literals to include the user ID. The second parameter is the fetcher function that we defined earlier. We handle the error state using a conditional statement. If there is an error, we render a div displaying a message indicating that the user couldn't be loaded. Similarly, if the data has not been loaded yet, we render a loading message. This will show while the initial request is being fulfilled. Once the data has been successfully fetched and is present, we move on to render the user's profile information. Here you see an HTML heading element that introduces the user profile section. This paragraph tag displays the user's name. The data is directly accessed from the data variable made available by the use SWR hook. Next, we have another paragraph to display the user's email. Again, we're accessing this info from the data variable. That closes our user profile component. With SWR, it's easy to fetch and display data with automatic caching, revalidation, and error handling baked in. Finally, we export the user profile component so that it can be used in other parts of our application.